We're going to keep hammering home the same theme. We're seeing the biggest small cap opportunity seen in years right now. Hey, I am Luke Downey. I'm going over the latest amazing post at mapsignals.com. We bring you some hard-hitting data about the stock market that you can't find anywhere else. Let's go ahead and get into this latest post. So why are we so bullish on small caps? Well, as a reminder, we were bullish in October, also November, December, multiple times this year. Again, we are going to continue to drive home this oversold area. So here's the first thing we want to look at. Big money index. It was definitely in a downtrend for a long time. You know, there were just a handful of stocks that were propping the large cap markets up, the S&P 500. That has started to slow. We're starting to see inflows coming back into the market. And when the BMI starts to rally, look out and pray for the bears. So that's the first thing we want to point to, is an improvement under the surface of the market. But let's go ahead and look below the surface of the BMI and look at the daily inflows and outflows. So here it's super simple. We're looking at thousands of stocks every single day. I have them plotted here. Green is the total number of stocks getting bought in a day, whereas red are the number of stocks that get sold in a day. One thing you should see is that market lows tend to be when there are big red bars, right? People sell at the bottom and they buy at the top. But here's what's interesting. In mid-April, we basically were near the lows in terms of selling, and then we started to see buying start to pick up. And this is why the BMI is starting to lift right now. It's because inflows are coming into the market. Yes, investors are starting to buy stocks again. So what does that mean for us? Well, let's go ahead and check out some new studies that we just put out. And to do this study, we wanted to look at actual strong, healthy buying. So what does healthy buying look like? That is going to be when in a day there are 60% or more of our signals that are inflows. So to kind of give you an idea of this, we start here, and this is in early May. You had a 65% buy day. Every single day after this was above 60%. So we're defining that as healthy inflows, whereas in the prior few weeks, they weren't, right? Because most of it was sell signals, right? So we're definitely seeing a change in behavior. Now, the question is, what does this mean for stocks going forward? Well, if you're bearish, you might want to unzip that suit, because here's the deal. Whenever we see 6 or more consecutive buy days, right? So these are 60% or better with the ratio of buying. Here's what tends to happen. Not only does the S&P 500 do well, but also small caps. So a month later, both of these indices are up healthy. You go out 6 months, they're up 6% on average. 12 months later, it is a market-beating return of 12.8% for small caps and 13.4% for large caps. So what does this mean? This means focus on the best stocks out there. This is what Map Signals does. This is what we deliver. This is how we crush markets week in and week out. We follow the big money. And here is another study. If you just look at 6 days of consecutive net inflows, where the prior month had weak inflows. So basically, right, you look at the BMI, it's in this depressed state. Then we all of a sudden start to see 6 consecutive inflow days. Over the past 10 years, that has been even more bullish for small and large cap stocks. 3 months later, they're up 6%, that's small caps. 6 months later, they're up 6%. But here is the key. 12 months from now, we know interest rates are going to be lower. Small caps are up 15.8% on average. Large caps are up 14%. So what are you waiting for? Don't wait for the media to give you the bull signal. Okay, you've got to follow the data. That's what Map Signals does. And if you have time, go back and look at what we were saying the end of 2023, telling you to buy small caps. It was one of the biggest ideas we had coming into 2024. It still is. You guys have a great one.